Cool.
But I like that approach, Nick, is just don't change a damn thing.
Yeah, don't change the thing. We did have somebody, an independent consultant, come in for one of our clients and say that they wanted to review our ad copy to figure out how they could get better leads. And they're a branding expert. They never work in real estate, but they want to take a look at it. I just wrote back, here's the current click-through rate on those ads that we're running. And they're like, well, that's probably not, we could probably do better than that. So it was obvious that they'd never done Google ads when I sent out, I think it was a 12.5% click-through rate, and the person responded, well, let's see if we can't do some reviewing and see where there might be a disconnect. Like, from what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be a branding expert, by the way, in my next career.
I'll tell you what, that's the gig, right? Branding.
Yeah. Endless buckets of money.
Right.
No accountability.
It's the trick is to get high enough up that people are kind of blind to it and they'll happily pay that fee. At the lower level, you know, like sub 5 million in revenue is probably not gonna they're not gonna bite on that. It's not producing results. But if you're up in that upper tier, I think you got some leeway in there.
You can do branding with your clients that, like our hiring clients, we're doing branding with them, but we're telling them, you know, tongue in cheek, like, hey, we can't track the return on this, but you can track it, you know, but.
Oh yeah, dude, we're doing the exact same thing. Like what we're talking about.
But the people that come in and lead and want to charge you $3,500 a month to look at your branding and rebrand you or help you with your brand.
Yep.
I don't think they've never sold a candy bar in their life.
Oh, I think it's the difference between direct response marketing and branded marketing. And Dan Kennedy is somewhere angrily yelling at somebody about this thing. Right. But we were talking about this internally the other day about we're starting to do YouTube retargeting ads, and we're getting good cost per lead on them. And I'm like, even if we're not, these people are seeing our brand over and over and over and over and over again. And if we just go, we're going to spend X amount per month, whether or not we're getting the amount of lead flow on the back end, these people are getting bombarded with the brand over and over again. That's okay, but that's an ancillary spend. It's not the main way we're generating leads. And if you lead brand, it's tough. People like, I say this in the junk removal space. Mark, you're in there as well. People are concerned about the franchises in the space, and they're like, well, how are we going to compete with them? And I just go, simply put, if your customers had a clue about those franchises, they would be going directly to their websites and not going junk service near me in Google.
Right.
And I'm like, we're fine. We got plenty of room here. The market's big enough that you can crush and you can have your 3, 5, 10 trucks and do perfectly fine. And it not even affect, and there could be 5 franchises in your market. So that's the beauty.
But you have to laugh at their commercials too when you hear these, because I can just imagine the people in the room, you know, imagining up the 1-800-GOT-JUNK commercial, and you know, we're magically going to point to your junk and it's going to disappear. And I've been in those types of meetings with the creative types before, and it's so disconnected from the real world type of marketing that we do. I will admit that some of them have some more brand awareness.
Yep.
You can always just bid on that keyword if you want to.
It's just a different play. I mean, in order for someone like Uber that's doing branded marketing now, in order for them to get that big, they had street teams that were going door to door in lots to pick up more limo drivers. They did direct response marketing in the beginning. They got big enough that they were able to do the branded marketing, but most local businesses don't have that that luxury, and they've got to start with direct response marketing, and branding comes after the fact. Brand, you can inject brand to help increase sales conversion ratio and get people comfortable with your brand using video and stuff like that, but not necessarily leading with it, because it just doesn't work that way.
And I'm not a brand expert at all. I just know in some of the real world agencies I worked in, everybody wanted to focus on branding. And I'm like, well, and I was in search. I'm like, well, heck yeah, I'd want to focus on branding too.
There's no accountability.
Yeah, give me a big old bucket of money and some colors, and we're off.
Some colors.
Yeah. And the other thing, though, that people don't take into account is, let's say you've got a 16% click-through rate. That's fantastic. You displayed that ad in front of 84% more people, or whatever the numbers are, you know, that saw the ad and saw the name. So there's, and it used to be in the old days, that's what you paid for. Get my name in front of as many people as possible.